Hey guys, as you can see on the screen, Nifty has finally given a breakout of the insider trading pattern that I was talking about, right? So on a daily time frame, we had a very perfect insider candle, and on a smaller time frame, we had a horizontal resistance. And today, finally, there's a breakout after giving multiple breakouts on the downside, even in Bank Nifty as well. I'll get to it in a minute. So clearly, a very trendy day for the market, and the reason behind it is the GST collection date on first of every month. We get that data, which I'll get to in a minute. So as you can see, Bank Nifty as well, however, unlike Nifty has given a breakout of the zone, but Bank Nifty hasn't. Previously it tried to, it faked out. So clearly this is the level from 51,700 to 800. This is the level that I myself am keeping a keen eye on, because Bank Nifty is a bit hesitant to cross this level. So I personally am trying to trade very cautiously, because Nifty has given a breakout but not Bank Nifty. If both index were in sync with each other, then it would have given more hope to me that there's a trend. And then the main news of the day is actually GST collections, the December data. Every first or second pay, this information we get it, and clearly market reacts to it, and it says 7.1% growth compared to the last year. But I'll take you guys to the charts and get a better clarity. As you can see, 1,76,000 crore is the this month's collection, and obviously this is lower compared to the previous month, but still market is reacting positively, because same month last year 2023 ka December pe we had around 1,64,000 crores. So compared to that, it's a 7% growth, a decent growth. And here's the reason why, even though on a month on month basis GST collection has reduced, but market is reacting positively, because this is something what we call as a seasonal shift, right? So clearly that's how the GST usually always works. In the month of November, we'll have a peak high, peak GST collection during the festival season of October, November, and then slowly it comes down till December, and then again in January it takes a new shift. You can see that here as well. From 2023 also we noticed a very similar trend. So clearly again we saw this, and now we are expecting again a slight growth from here. At least that's what I myself am expecting. So clearly market has reacted positively to this news. So we'll have to wait and watch what steps the government will take for coming month, that is in January, how the GST, the whole thing will react. So next off we have there's a wholesale price index, and they want to change the base year from 2011 to 22. And now this doesn't affect any stock prices in any way, but it's a key event happening in the market. Obviously every month when the inflation data comes out, we go and look at the wholesale price index and how it has worked. But now the government wants to change it, because they think that whatever the prices were there in 2011 to 12, they do not represent the right price that is going on right now. Clearly, I remember we could buy a lot of stuff with 100 rupees back in 2011, but today if we go out, we cannot buy a lot of stuff with just 100 rupees. So clearly government is mentioning that there's a huge shift here. So now we cannot use whatever the base price that we were using 2011, which will not make sense to use in 2024. So clearly they just want to make that change, the WPI index. So we'll notice this when we look at the monthly data. It will come in maybe 5 or 6 more days. When that happens, we'll be able to notice the change on month basis, or based on the index base, the change will be, percentage will be different. I will certainly try my best to explain it to you guys when the data comes out. So next off we have the news about India's manufacturing growth. Apparently December we have registered the lowest in basically the last 12 months, that is this year. This is not that concerning to the market, because this is a seasonal trend. But again, there's a slow expansion in manufacturing sector. However, we noticed in December and September, December, the whole manufacturing sector was actually supporting the GDP data. But now we are noticing there's a slight decline. So, however, we'll have to wait and see how the market will react if the same downward trend continues in the January of 2025. So, next off, you can even see how it has reacted even last year, guys. Again, this is a seasonal trend, like I mentioned in GST collection as well. We usually notice a downtrend from September to December, and then again we notice a upward trajectory. Now also we are basically in that downward trajectory. So even with all this news, market did not react negatively, market did not fall. So clearly everyone has taken a note of that. Maybe it's just seasonal, but when will people panic? The investors will panic when in January also, if the manufacturing index goes down. That is something to be worried about, right? So, and next up we have news about the IT sector. Just a few days ago, the whole IT sector fell on the Monday session. We noticed a, I even have the chart of you guys, so you'll get a better idea. So we noticed on this day there was quite a bit of a panic selling in the IT sector, because there's a little bit of bad news in the US market. Whenever there's a bad news in the US market, our IT index will react to it. But now today, the reports have come in. The new year, many investment banking company, private equity firms, they'll run these reports every year, and today it says that IT sector apparently will actually accelerate through that initial phase of recovery that we saw in the first half of this sector, first half of this quarter. So clearly that's a great news. They expect that even the Q3 results, third quarter, we will notice a very good amount of growth in the IT sector. So today, as you can see in the chart, we saw very bullish momentum in all the stocks. This is the IT index, right? So clearly that is a great news for the stocks. And next off, we have Isha Motors. Yesterday in my video I mentioned there was a monthly, on the first of every month, basically we get the auto sales data, right? So many companies actually posted their data yesterday, but there's a bit of lag for a couple of companies, and today we get the very clear clarity on some of them, like Isha Motors. Isha Motor actually owns a Royal Enfield. That's another part of it, a subsidiary part of Isha Motors, and apparently the sales of this motorcycle has gone up by 25%. There are a lot of people buying Royal Enfield bikes. If you're one of those, do let me know down below in the comment section, right? So even the stock was in superb action today with, as you can see, very high volumes. Stock price went up by almost about 6 to 7%. It's very rare that we see stock like Isha Motor, which has a big market capital, go up with 6-7% with very high volumes. So clearly market is reacting very positively to the bike sales data, up 25%. That's just incredible, right? So next up we have Ashok Leyland, another auto company which actually went up 5% today. Yesterday we had data about Ashok Leyland, but we did not have a complete step-by-step data on what is the passenger vehicle data, what are the commercial vehicles, how much was sold. But today, after the market, when we got a clear clarity, right, on a year-on-year basis as well, they have an 8% growth, and commercial vehicle ka sales has declined. But since the overall sales is performing really well, the market is taking the news very positively, just like Isha Motor. Ashok Leyland also went up by a huge margin. So now, guys, this is how you trade. If you want to obviously if you want to be profitable, you have to trade stocks that are in trend. And sometimes I know people will tell you, don't trade with based on news, but these are some of the things. If you are in the market, that this happens every month. Yesterday I mentioned ki, every auto sales data has come out, and clearly few of them they were in the gray area. We did not have the full information, and when we got the full information today, as you can see, there's a full growth, like there's a full on trend in these stocks, right? So this is how you can utilize news and then combine that with maybe price action or technical analysis, whatever you do, to get a better clarity on how to take the best rate or how to find the best stocks. So next up we have Petronet LNG. Actually this was a very bullish day, and there were very less number of stocks which fell, and one of them is Petronet LNG, down 5% because Citi, another investment banking company from US, they mentioned that there's something called as PNGRB. This is basically a government entity that actually manages all this LNG related gas related stuff in the India. So basically they are mentioning that these people, Petronet LNG, apparently profited off by costing more for the gas consumers. It says that you can't just make profit by levying more price on the consumer. That's not a good way to it will cause inflation, right? So they are saying this is a bad thing and will take some effect on it. So clearly when a government entity like PNGRB says that, stock will head in a negative territory, like it has, as you can see, with very high volumes. Every investor is like, no, I don't want the stock, I'm out here until we get some sort of clarification on what will actually happen. So we see a negativity. So next one we have Zycorp, which actually went down by 20%. I think this was one of the few stocks which hit a 20% lower circuit today, even though that's a very bullish momentum in the overall market. So basically it's because one of their a company that I would call it as a subsidiary company, called as UIHPL, and they have mentioned that they have to do some sort of a capital reduction. So if you are commerce based student, and obviously you'll know what this means, but I'll not go into detail of what it is. But clearly Zycorp doesn't want to do it, but these people want to do it. So it's a bit of a negative news for the company. So the stock has gone down by 20%. So until we get a bit of clarification, so maybe then the stock might at least settle down at a lower point.
If you're a trader following market calls and tips for day trading, use our tool RNT, Research and Trade. All you have to do is link RNT to your trading account, then just sit and relax. Turn trading into business at app.gwcindia.live. Check out description for more details.
Disclaimer: investments in the securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.